In this video, I'm going to be talking about why you're not making money in online training and how you can finally, turn that first dollar for remote training, or, if maybe you already have a few athletes, but you're not making the money that you want, how you can actually make the income that you want through online training. So by the end of this video, you're going to know what mindset you need to have, the marketing process that you need to have, the conversion process you need to have, and also some of the systems that you need to have in place in order to actually scale, right? And just so I'm not wasting anybody's time, this is mostly for sports coaches who, maybe already have a little bit of a following on social media, a few thousand, maybe 5,000 plus. People are following you for your training information. You're already getting results from your athletes in person. And maybe, like I said, you already have a few remote athletes, but you're just not sure how to grow it, or you're not sure how to start, right? Like you kind of are sitting on a little bit of a follower base and you know that you can make money from it, but you're not 100% sure how. Like this is for you. If you're not that guy, that's fine. Like you're still going to learn a ton just about like general business, marketing, sales, things like that. Or maybe, you don't have a follower base and you just don't even know where to start. You can get a ton of value out of this video, but this is specifically for, sports trainers, sports coaches, people who already are doing it. And they have a little bit of a following and they want to continue to grow online. They see the opportunity there. If that's you, then you're going to want to stick around. Because I'm going to tell you why you're not making money and how you can end up making money, right? So, just so I'm not some random dude sitting at a baseball field talking to the camera. My credibility is I was a baseball player. When I got done playing baseball, started a remote baseball training business with an old teammate. We were able to help over 250 athletes make $32K a month in just 10 months. All over the internet, doing remote training, posting on social media, things like that. So, it didn't just work for me. Have some other clients, my guy Drew Richards signed 20 new athletes in the first 14 days of us working together. My boy Nick was able to quit his 9-to-5 job and go full-time for remote training. My boy JC Ariza was one of my employees at my old business, now does his own remote training, right? So I taught him exactly what he needs to be doing with his own remote training business. And I have, a few other clients, mostly in the baseball space, but work with a speed trainer right now. And, I actually know what I'm doing, right? I actually know what I'm doing. I've actually done it and I've helped other people get there. People who were stuck at, making a couple grand a month, not really sure what to do, or, just starting from scratch, right? So I actually know what I'm doing. I've actually done it and I have proof that other people have done it too, right? So, like I said, the things that I believe that really make the most impact are, number one, you got to have the right mindset. If your mind's not in the right place, if you're not going to be aggressive and you're not going to take action, like nothing's ever going to happen. Number two, if you're not marketing efficiently, if you're not generating leads, you're not generating people, coming in the door, you really have no shot, right? And then number three, you see a lot of people on Instagram with a lot of followers, and by a lot, I mean like over 5-10K, and they don't know how to monetize their following, right? They even get people reaching out to them via DM and they don't even know how to close them. They don't know how to make that money, right? So a conversion process is very, very important. Then number four, you got to have systems, because once, I was training over 100 people at once. You got to have systems in place to be able to handle that type of workload if you don't want to go absolutely crazy. And I tell you what, there was a time where I was going absolutely crazy because I was training so many people. And, the systems really saved me, right? The systems really saved me. Plus I was able to hire employees and stuff like that. That really helped me grow. But if you're watching this video right now, that's probably not you. You're probably not overwhelmed with the amount of athletes that you have, right? Once you get there, we could talk too. But, in this video specifically, it's going to be about, how you can actually get your business off the ground, how you can actually make some fucking money, right? So, let's start it off with mindset, right? The biggest problem that I see with the people that I'm working with, and the biggest problem that I faced is, paralysis by analysis. Before I started, a business, there was a million different things that I could do, right? I thought that there were so many different avenues that I could take. Do I market on social media? Do I ask people for referrals? Do I do this? Do I do that? I had no idea what steps I needed to take. And so what did I do? Absolutely nothing, right? And that's the biggest thing that I see a lot of other people do, is that they're kind of paralyzed by all of the different potential options, so they don't do anything. And that's probably the worst thing that you could do. Because people are afraid to fail, right? They're afraid to do things wrong the first time. And let's be honest, like, unless you work with me directly, you're going to probably fail. You're going to do a lot of things wrong the first time. And, you know, it's kind of impossible to, you know, get things right the first time, right? Like, part of growing and learning is being willing to fail, using the failure to help you move forward, right? So, you know, I would say that's probably the biggest thing that I see guys struggle with, right? Is that they just don't know what to do. They're afraid to fail, so they don't do anything. Or, you know, they want to be a perfectionist. They want to get everything right the first time, right? So they spend a ton of time planning. I need to have this perfect. I need to have this perfect. And, you know, you're never going to have it perfect, right? 100 athletes at a time. There were still plenty of holes in my business. There were still plenty of holes, but I was doing it way better than everybody else because I actually was just doing it, right? So, you know, that is the advice that I will give you, is that you need to take action, right? You need to do something. Whether you invest in a mentor, you work with me directly, I can help you bypass all the steps. Like, I can show you the exact pathway that you need to go on. But if you're not going to work with me, you need to do something, right? Because sitting here and saying like, hey, you know, tomorrow's a day, or once I do this, then I'm going to start, right? You're never going to start. And in 5-10 years, you're going to look back and be like, wow, I wish I would have started it then. I wonder what it could be now, right? So, you know, the most successful people in the world take action and figure it out as they go, right? You have a little bit of a plan and then you take action on it, knowing that your plan is going to change, because the odds that you come up with the perfect business model, that you come up with the perfect plan the first time, are almost zero. Because if you knew the exact perfect thing to do already, you probably would have already done it. So just understand that, right? Like, the odds that you get it right the first time, having never done it before, are pretty much zero, because you have no context, right? You have no context. You don't have any reason to actually believe that, you know, your plan is going to be perfect, right? So number one, you got to have the right mindset of, I'm going to take action, right? So number two, once you start taking action and once you start actually like doing shit, right? It's very important that you market correctly, because a lot of people, you know, they know you got to post on social media. And, you know, the biggest thing that I see is like, people post on social media and like, they post content with the idea to, excuse me, they post content with the idea to like get as many clicks as possible. And clicks can be good, right? You know, getting more eyeballs is never a bad thing. But when your sole objective is to get more eyeballs, you know, you're really not going to make any money from it, right? Because you're not dialing in on people with a specific problem, right? People are going to watch your content because it's entertaining, right? There are people that I see out there with a ton of followers that are struggling to make money because they make content that is entertaining, right? And there's nothing wrong with entertaining content. You know, even, you know, I always say, like, you should always make your content entertaining, even if that's not your sole purpose, even if it's for conversion, right? Which is what, you know, we'll get into. But if people follow you for entertainment, they're probably not going to buy, right? Because people buy things to solve problems. And so what we need to do is we need to make content that speaks to, you know, one ideal avatar, right? We need to pick one specific type of person, and it's more narrow than just like baseball players or, you know, athletes or whatever the case is, right? We want to think like, how old are they? Where do they come from? What are the problems that they face? What are their struggles? What do they really want? What are their fears, right? And speak directly to that person, because when they see your content, when they see your marketing message, they're much more likely to watch it and be like, oh shit, this guy knows exactly what I'm going through. He must know what he's talking about. He could probably help me, right? And then they're going to give you a follow, and then they're going to watch more of your stuff. You're going to solve more of their problems. And then you're going to post on social media, hey, DM me the word blank if you want more information. And then you're going to get them on the phone, and then they're going to pay you money, right? So what that all boils down to is making content that speaks directly to people's pain points, and saying like, hey, if you struggle with these problems, I can help solve them. Here's how. Then people are going to follow you. They're going to know you, right? Because you're making yourself known on the internet. Now they're going to like you because you're helping solve their problems. And they're also going to trust you because you've already helped solve their problems for free. They're much more likely to pay you, right? People are going to make a buying decision based on people that they've already gotten value from for free. That's why it's much more easy to sell somebody who you've already sold, because they already paid you money, they already got value. You just sell them again, right? Because they already know you, they already like you, they already trust you, they already got results, and then you just sell them again, right? So that is kind of how you should market, right? Speak directly to people's pain points and not so much, trying to be entertaining, right? We want to speak to people's pain points in an entertaining way, to get more eyeballs and to get attention. But more specific than that, right? We want to, if you can only do one thing, you want to speak to people's pain points, right? So number 3, conversion, right? Most people don't have a conversion process. Like, they get people to DM them and they never hit them back, right? Or they, DM them a couple times and try and sell them a program right away. Like, it's ridiculous, right? It's absolutely ridiculous, because logically it doesn't make any sense. Think about if you were trying to take a girl out on a date, right? Trying to take a girl out on a date, you probably wouldn't walk up to her at first and be like, hey, I want to take you on a date. She's gonna be like, I don't even know you, right? So you want to make sure that, we kind of warm them up to it, right? Like, you can, ask a girl on a date in the first conversation, but it's got to go well, right? It's got to go well. And so the same thing happens, or the same thing occurs in the sales process, in the conversion process, right? Like, let's say somebody DMs you, you got to have a consistent and repeatable way to actually, figure out what these people want, figure out what their pain points are, and then get them on the phone and talk to them like they're real human beings, right? So many people right now, we're trying to automate everything. They're trying to automate everything. They're trying to sell through a website, right? Buy this through the website. It's not going to take any of my time, passive income. If you want to do remote training, like, the passive income dream is just not there. If you want to make passive income, you better learn how to drop ship, or you better learn how to sell on Amazon, right? And if you're a baseball coach or a football coach or whatever, you're probably not going to be very good at that, right? So let's use our competitive advantage and just learn a small skill of how to sell, right? Instead of trying to generate passive income through baseball training, because somebody is buying you as a coach. They're not, they're buying the result that you're going to get, and they want to work with you directly. They're not buying a program. They're not buying an Excel sheet, right? They're buying you to help get them the result, right? So we need to speak to them like real human beings and convey to them that we can help them achieve their desired outcome, right? So you need a conversion process that turns eyeballs into dollars. If you don't have that, that's why you're not making any money, right? That's probably the biggest thing that people need help with, right? Is conversion, turning eyeballs into dollars, right? And it's because they have no idea how. They're trying to sell things to people right off the rip. They have no sales skills. And you need sales skills to sell shit. Simple as that, right? Number 4, systems. Like I mentioned before, I was training over 100 people at once. And in person, you can do that because you have definitive times, right? But when it's remote training, it's a little bit different, because you have to communicate with all of them on a regular basis, right? So most people don't have any systems. They just have like a shitty Google sheet that is never updated. They really don't track anything. Everything is like, all over the place, right? And the systems that I was able to build in my remote training business, I tracked everything from the time that, somebody sent in an application or reached out to us to the time they closed. I could tell you the average amount of time that it took somebody to go from, they reached out to us to when they paid us money, right? Or I could tell you the average amount of payments that I collected from somebody, or how much each customer was worth, or, what level most of our customers played at, right? Like, I was tracking all of that, right? And the reason why I did that is so I could make better decisions about the business, right? So if you're not tracking anything, at least track something, right? Like track something, right? Have some sort of systems in place that are going to make it easy for you to not only track things, but number 2, organize your guys and, create resources, create programs for people that deliver consistent results. So that way you can do, maybe a little bit more work on the front end, but it's a lot easier for the customer on the back end, and it saves you a lot of time in the long run, right? That's how I was able to do the things that I was doing is because I created systems on the back end to deliver results to people that took me a lot less time because I did so much work up front, right? And that's what a lot of people are afraid of. They always think like, oh, it's gonna be so easy to make money on the internet. Well, I'm here to crush your dreams, right? I'm gonna be honest, like that shit's hard, right? It takes a lot of skill and a lot of time, but it can be done. You just need to put in the work, right? So, you know, most people are gonna try and sell you on a dream that, you know, making money on the internet is easy and passive income. Like that's what everyone talks about these days. But, you know, you're not gonna make passive income unless you already have money to put into something to actually have it be passive. You know what I mean? So the idea of making passive income on the internet without a large amount of skill or follower base or, you know, demand is ridiculous, right? So let's recap. Number one, take action. Take action. When the shorter amount of time that it takes for you to take action, from the time that you have an idea to the time that you do something about it, is going to have a large correlation to your success as a, you know, remote trainer, if you will, right? Number two, make content towards people's pain points, right? Prove to them that you can solve their pain points. Don't make content that's entertaining. You know, you may get more followers that way, but you know, there are plenty of people with 100K followers that don't make shit for money, right? And number three, have a conversion process, right? Learn how to sell. Learn how to sell. Because if you don't know how to sell, then you'll never be able to exchange money for your services, right? You can get all the way to the finish line and then you never collect the payment, right? So you have to learn how to sell. Number four, create systems to make your job easier and make your athlete's life easier, right? You want to do a little bit of work on the front end to create the environment that is going to make it easy for everyone to work together, right? You gotta have a standard process. You gotta have what's called SOPs, standard operating procedures. When somebody signs up with your program, what do? Right? What are the 3 steps that you need? Do you have an onboarding form? Do you have an onboarding process? If you don't, you know, it's gonna be tough to, you know, retain people on the back end, right? So, you know, if you are a sports coach, right? If you are somebody who is trying to get remote athletes, you don't know how, maybe you have a little bit of a following, you know, you're trying to do the remote thing, you get good results from your athletes in person, you're willing to put in work, and you wanna know how to do it today, then go ahead, book a call with me. The link for my calendar will be in the description. We can go over your situation. If you're the right fit, we can get started right away. And like I said, it's only for guys who are actually, you know, maybe have a little bit of a following, like already have people interested in their stuff. They just don't know how to do the remote thing. Like they know that they can do it. They're willing to put in the work. Guys like that, like that's who I want to work with. And those guys, like I can absolutely guarantee results because, you know, I've done it myself. I've done it for other people and I have a process that works, right? I actually know what I'm doing. So if that's you, go ahead, book a call with me, because really at this point, man, like you have 2 options, right? The first option would be you can take the information that I just gave you and try and figure it out on your own. You can watch all my content and try and piece it together. And I'll just be blunt with you. You know, you probably could figure it out on your own, but it's gonna take a lot of time and it's gonna be really difficult. And you're gonna run into a lot of obstacles that you don't even know are coming, right? You don't even know what obstacles are coming yet because you have no experience, right? Or, you know, you could take option 2, you could work directly with me. You know, I can chop down all the weeds for you and point you right to the pot of gold and say, there it is, brother. So, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, you can pay with your time or you can pay with your money. I paid with my time and then I paid with my money, right? You know, I probably put 2,000 hours into learning about remote training. So, you know, if you want to get to where I'm at, you're 2,000 hours behind of where I'm at. Or, you know, you can pay with a little bit of money and I can give you those 2,000 hours so you can bypass all that stuff. You'll know exactly what you need to do to set your business up for success. Because to be honest with you, like I paid a mentor to help me, you know, learn a lot of the stuff that I know now and like break the beliefs that I have mentally. But I wish I would have done it earlier, right? I wish I would have done it earlier, and I'll probably continue to pay mentors for the rest of my life because they're going to help me get to where I want to go faster, right? So, you know, you might be that guy who, you know, oh, I want to do it all myself. I can figure it out all myself. Like, dude, like I've worked with plenty of you, and, you know, they all want to figure it out themselves because you're the go-getter, right? You're the go-getter. But, you know, if I could just point you in the right direction, if I could help you bypass all of the difficult parts of the process and just point you to where the pot of gold is and show you what you need to do, you know, give you the shovel, you know, go dig it up, right? If I can help you do all that and help you actually, you know, make 5, 10, 20, 30K a month or more from remote training, just think about what that could do for you, right? Because if you're watching this video right now, you have some sort of interest in doing remote training. So, you know, maybe you've been trying to figure it out for a while and you haven't yet. Like, you know, watching one video isn't going to be the difference. It's probably going to be a mentor. And obviously I'm a little bit biased when I say that, but it's 100% true. Like, I am fully convicted in that, because if you are that sports coach, if you are that guy with, you know, 5,000 followers, 3,000 followers plus 10, 20, 30K, maybe 50K, 100K followers, and you're not making the money you want through remote training, then I absolutely guarantee that I can help you. You know, if you're making 3K a month, like, I can probably triple your revenue in 90 days. And that's an absolute guarantee. So, if you are that sports coach, if you do want to start trying to get more remote athletes, if you want a little bit of help doing it, then I'm your guy. You're way better off working with me than you are trying to figure it out on your own. But if you want to try and figure it out on your own, that's fine, go ahead. People have done it before, people will do it after you. But if you want a shortcut, if you want to bypass all that, if you want to make sure that you're doing things right the first time, go ahead, book a call with me. We can jump on the phone. If you're the right fit, if you're that guy that I was outlining, then, you know, we can get started right away and, you know, triple your revenue in 90 days. So, you know, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got a ton of value out of it, because there are so many people out there who, you know, are sitting on a ton of money and just don't know how. And it's really my mission to teach people how to do that. Because I put in the hard work for you. You can just learn directly from me. So have a great rest of your day. It's a beautiful day out here in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's a little bit chilly. It's only 91, you know, or November, I'm sorry. So, you know, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And if you are that guy, I'll catch you on the phone, and hopefully we can work together and triple your business, and, you know, you can live the life that you've always wanted. So catch you in the next one. Peace.